Welcome. Take a moment to settle into stillness as you arrive fully into this space. There is a point many of us reach where spiritual exploration starts to feel like too much. Too many ideas, too many beliefs, too many voices trying to explain what is true. That kind of overload does not mean we are doing anything wrong. It usually means we have taken in more than we have had time to sort through. Nothing here asks us to adopt a system. This is about building something steady enough to return to. It is common to explore different paths and end up feeling less clear instead of more clear. Spiritual language can become loud, and when everything starts to sound meaningful, it can also become hard to hold. That does not mean something is wrong. It often means our intake has outpaced our integration. What looks like confusion is often a need for structure, a need to slow down enough to notice what actually fits. A personal spiritual framework is not a belief system we have to defend. It is quieter than that. It is a way of orienting when life feels uncertain or when too much input pulls us in different directions. It includes what we notice, what we practice, and what helps us stay grounded in the body. It does not need to be complete. It only needs to be steady enough to return to. The first part of any framework begins with awareness. Not what we have been told, but what we actually notice in lived experience. This may be how the body responds in certain environments. It may be moments of calm, contraction, connection, or overwhelm. The point is not to explain everything immediately. The point is to notice what is happening without adding pressure on top of it. The second part is practice. This does not need to be elaborate or highly structured. It can be a few slow breaths, a quiet walk, or sitting still long enough for the system to settle. The purpose of practice is not performance. It is to give us a way back into ourselves. When a practice is simple enough to repeat, it starts to create steadiness over time. The third part is what supports us from the world around us. We may find something useful in different traditions, books, ideas, or practices. We do not need to adopt everything in order to receive something valuable. A framework can hold pieces from more than one place. What matters is whether those pieces increase clarity, steadiness, and honest contact with ourselves. We can take what helps and leave what does not. Discernment is how we decide what aligns without rushing to accept or reject. It is not urgency. It is not pressure. It is the ability to stay with something long enough to notice what it does in the body and in the mind. If something creates confusion, strain, or a sense of being pushed, that is information. If something creates steadiness and clearer contact, that is information too. We do not need a fast answer in order to be honest. One of the most common sources of overwhelm is trying to hold too much at once. Too many practices, too many ideas, too many expectations. A framework does not become stronger through accumulation alone. It becomes usable through simplicity and repetition. Doing less, more consistently, often gives the system something it can actually integrate. Going slowly is not missing out. It is often how clarity becomes possible. Information can be useful, but information alone does not change much. Integration is what happens when something moves from an idea into a lived experience. That takes time, space, and enough capacity to let the system absorb it. What feels abstract at first can become natural later, but not through force. It becomes real through repetition, honesty, and actual contact with our own experience. At the center of any framework is our own ability to remain in contact with ourselves. We do not need to follow any path completely for it to offer something useful. We do not need to define ourselves inside a system for it to help us orient. External ideas can support us, but they should not replace our own experience. A grounded path strengthens contact. It does not ask for self-erasure. Over time, a framework becomes something we can return to when life feels unclear. We notice what is happening. We use a simple practice to settle the system. We draw on ideas or supports that help us stay in contact with ourselves. Those pieces begin to work together through use. There is no need to rush that process. It builds quietly through repetition and attention. This is not something we have to get right in order for it to help. It is something we can explore and test in a lived experience. If something is useful, we can keep it. If it's not, we can leave it. There is no requirement to force meaning where there is none. What matters is whether it supports steadiness, clarity, and honest contact. We are not behind when something takes time to settle. We are not doing it wrong when clarity does not come all at once. Awareness has its own pace, and integration does not respond well to force. Sometimes the most honest thing we can do is slow down, pause, and come back when there is more capacity. That is not failure. It is how steadiness is built. Take a moment now to bring your attention back into your body. Notice your breath as it moves naturally in and out. Feel the weight of your body where you are sitting or standing. If it feels comfortable, place one hand over your heart and one over your stomach, gently anchoring yourself in this moment. There is nothing you need to solve right now. As you return to your day, remember that every step you take is felt by the earth. Your breath, your heartbeat, your presence, they matter. Ground yourself in the now and let the earth hold you steady. You are part of something greater. Stay connected, stay grounded, and know that healing begins with presence. As you expand your awareness beyond the physical, allow yourself to sense the quiet vastness that surrounds you. There is no separation between you and the greater field of existence, only connection waiting to be remembered. You are part of something that extends far beyond what can be seen or understood. I leave you with this inspiration. The light of the universe surrounds you. The love of the universe enfolds you. The power of the universe protects you. The presence of the universe watches over you. You are one with the universe. Awaken to the energies that connect us all. You are not alone. The universe is listening, and your journey